Hey, jerks. Welcome. I thought I would get away with not doing a show today, but things didn't work out that way. We get some new audio. I felt like I had to go live, and I'm a little time strapped for later today. I'm going to put this audio out on YouTube later as like a premiere, whatever you call those things, right after this show. So you don't get me talking over it. You'll have two versions. You'll have this live version where I'm going to play the audio today and kind of comment on it as long as I can hang out. My dog's acting up already over here. So we got a lot going over at the house too. There could be some noises, so I could check out. But I'm going to put the entire audio uninterrupted up on our YouTube as soon as the show's over. So you'll get that too. This is great. This is fun today because this is we got the audio from Bagwell versus Gaetani. This is a HPO harassment protection order that was filed and granted for a year against Lindsay Katani. For people who aren't familiar, she is a key witness against Aiden Carney, Turtle Boy, for the witness intimidation and domestic violence and all this other crap. And she's the most untrustworthy ratchet. I'm going to call her ratchet. I don't use the word ratchet on people, but man, she is. She really is. She's a liar too. She lied about me and didn't apologize. That made a Betero letter. It's part of Aiden Carney's court case there. So today, she said a lot of shit about me, which is funny because I really haven't been covering her much. Really, truly. But there comes a point where you just, especially too, when she's throwing shit at me and then not apologizing when she knows she's wrong. She knows I never did any of the things that she accused me of, which were crimes, which, between her and Grant, I almost hope, if two people ever won the lottery, I would be so happy because that would be the time I would file against them. So today we're going to play this audio, actually. It's audio from the courtroom of this harassment prevention order hearing. And what you're going to hear first is the victim, Mary Bagwell, who was threatened repeatedly, not just once, more than once. And her children were also violently threatened by Lindsay Katani. And Lindsay, in this hearing, she admits it. She basically takes some responsibility, apologizes, which was like, wow, what a breakthrough, Lindsay. You actually took some accountability, but not really, Jinx. Because the rest of her thing was crying and complaining about Aiden. It was Aiden's fault that she made violent threats on a recorded line. It's Aiden's fault. It's Aiden's fault that she threatened someone it's Aiden's fault. It's always Aiden's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. So this is where accountability. You want to come at me? You better have a clean house, honey. You better have a clean house. And I don't think you do. I think all the shit that people throw at you, I believe it all. I do. I believe that you're not good at all. Because everything I've seen is rotten to the core. And my advice to you, get off the internet. Stop worrying about Aiden. Stop showing up at his court cases. Stop showing up at Karen Reed court case. Like that whole thing that you did. It showed you weren't afraid. You're so full of it. So this is funny because this is, I'm looking forward to, I put Tully up on the screen here because he's the one who handled this confidential informant against Aiden. So he deserves some credit for this. What a great witness you got there. That's what I said over a year ago about her. And I haven't been proven wrong, Tully, and you know it. And this is why Tully has lost his position with Norfolk County, I think, a big part of it. But I'm looking forward to them trying to put her on the stand to testify and seeing Betero and Bradel just destroy her. because she is not credible over and over and over again. Just the fact that she lied about me. I let her know it was a lie. No accountability, no retraction, no apology. Just act like it never happened, right, Lindsay? And you're going to hear it today on this audio. No accountability from this woman at all. This is their witness. And that's why we're playing the audio and reporting on it, because this is newsworthy. This is the state's witness against Aiden Carney. This is their primary witness. So let's listen to the audio. Less me, more of this. I hope you guys can't hear Charlie. He's crying. He's a little upset. I put him in his kennel right now because he's getting in trouble when I'm live. But let's go.
Mary Bagwell versus Lindsay Katani. Ms. Bagwell, right here, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Gaetani, right to that podium. Thank you, ma'am. Could all parties testifying in this matter please raise their right hand? Do you both solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you are now about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, now can you state your name for the record?
Mary Bagwell.
Okay. And your name for the record, ma'am?
Lindsay Katani.
Okay.
This is not from yesterday. We may get audio from that too. I guess Grant Smith Ellis was chastised by the judge and warned and threatened with disturbing the court. So I'm looking forward to that audio. No, this is a different hearing. This wasn't for Aiden. Aiden had nothing to do with this hearing. This was a woman named Mary Bagwell who got threatened by Lindsay several times. Violent threats were made against this woman, and she basically wasn't taking it and filed a harassment prevention order. I'm looking to, have her on the show hopefully soon. We'll see if she comes on. I think, she seems like she's interested in coming on, talk about it. We'll see what happens. But basically, this Bagwell lady, my question for her is, are the criminal charges going to be filed? Because these were criminal threats she made. And she's got recording and screenshots. And so this was not from yesterday. This is a previous hearing in Attleboro.
All right. And Ms. Bagwell, are you asking for the court to further extend this order today?
Yes, I
And are you objecting to a further extension of this order today?
Yep.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Just for the record, good morning. I'm Joanna Staff, and this is Mary Bagwell.
Good morning. And have you filed an appearance in the case?
I believe I did.
Okay. Let me just check.
I think I had someone in last.
Okay.
I appreciate that too. Haley's got the exact date, which I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't have the exact date. It's December 24th. That is correct. And it's funny because last December 23rd, 4th, 5th, she was putting Aiden through hell. And me too. So this is it was a good Christmas this year, right, Linz? Not for you so much. Much better for us.
I don't see it on the list, so I'll have you fill out a new appearance. Okay. All right, and Ms. Gaetani, have you seen the affidavit that was completed when the plaintiff filled out the restraining order application?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right, and I'm just going to take a moment just to look at the case papers.
Merry Christmas, Lindsay. Hope it was a good one. Why not focus on your children too, Lindsay? You got 4 kids. Why are you spending all your effort on this crap? And you want to be a star. It's so obvious. You go on these shows, you have your Twitter, you want to be the star. Be less of a star and be more of a mother to your 4 kids.
So it looks like this order issued on December 10th at 4:28 PM, expiring today at 11 o'clock. I will note for the record, it does look like everything was completed on the order. And the only note I do want to just make for the record is, it does appear that the address, there was a request to impound both the residential address and the workplace address. So that was allowed by the judge at the previous date. However, I just want to make it clear for the record that it looks like the motion to impound wasn't officially signed, and it doesn't look like the order was signed. I just want to make that clear. So the order is in effect, but it doesn't look like the order was signed by the judge officially, but I'm not going to change that in any way, but I just want to state that for the record. But the order has been in effect, and it was clearly allowed.
And I want to say something too. We're gonna pin Aiden's defense fund. MJ just posted it. We're gonna pin that in the YouTube chat, definitely. So if you want to donate to him today, definitely do so. You know what he's under. Please support Aiden Carney. He needs the money. Free Karen Reed as well. FreeKarenReed.net. You can click on there and donate to her as well, the defense funds. And obviously also support us, the Young Jerks, my mod crew, myself. I'm really proud of the mod crew we have. MJ, Jen, Stephanie, Sarah, Scott McGinnis. We got a good crew. I'm really thankful. I can't thank them enough. All the shit we've been through. I just love them. And if you can subscribe and like and all that, you know they're going to ratchet it up against me now. Every time I put something out on this woman or the Krusty Panty crew, they turn around and they do entire episodes on me. They attack the shit out of me. They look up my parents' 1972 divorce. I never even saw the document until they posted it. They're insane. I don't give a shit. I'm not afraid of these goons, you know? So if you want to support, please do support today.
On the last date by the judge. Okay. All right, so you have seen a complete copy. It's a 2-page affidavit. You've seen and read that affidavit?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right, so ma'am, I'll hear from you, and counsel, I'm not sure if you want your client to testify directly as to the basis for further extending the order.
Yes, Your Honor. Taking a look at the affidavit, I think there's some details that are left out. She was ex parte pro se when she was in last week, so I would like some testimony. Your Honor,
Okay.
just for the record, I do notice that there's a member of the audience filming. I don't know if that's permitted. I just wanted to see if that's okay.
Yes, so we did have, the court officer did bring to my attention that there was a media request, and that was allowed, and that was, I was told it was for a still, it was a still photography. Is that accurate? Okay, so it's still photographs. Okay. All right, so you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. If you could just introduce yourself for the record.
Mary Bagwell,
And Ms. Bagwell, where do you reside?
Hansfield,
And who do you reside there with?
my 2 sons,
How old are your two sons?
17 and 29.
And are you employed?
Yes,
What is your profession?
work in finance.
Now, how is it that you know the defendant in this matter?
I met her through another friend that I had, and we got to know each other initially through a third call, which the other person would call us in on a 3-way call.
And when did you first meet the defendant?
Last year, in 2023.
And you said you met her through a 3-way call.
That's initially how we would interact.
And at some point, did your relationship with, or friendship with her progress?
Yeah,
And did the two of you eventually meet in person?
yeah.
And when was that?
On June of this year.
If you can just keep your voice up a little bit, just so that I can't hear you all that well.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You met her June of this year, 2024?
2024.
And where did you meet her?
At a protest.
And what kind of protest is this?
It was the Karen Reed protest.
And was it pro-government or pro-Karen Reed?
It was pro-government.
So both of you were on the same side, pro-government?
Yes.
And after that, did the two of you still have interactions after this June 2024 protest?
Yes.
And what kind of interactions did the two of you have?
We would meet at a restaurant before we would go to a protest, and we went to a second protest together, and then after we would go back to the restaurant. She actually invited me to go to her court hearing that she had with her kid's father, Frankie, and I did not go to that one. I started distancing.
So is it fair to say the two of you were friends and you were close at some point?
Yes.
And let me back you up for a second. Did the two of you socialize outside of these protests?
Yes.
How many times would you say the two of you socialized?
About 3 or 4, a few times.
Now, directing your attention to the summer, was there a social where the two of you were at a pool party?
Yes.
Do you recall what month that was this summer?
July 8th, I believe.
And what can you tell the court about what happened at that pool party?
I noticed that when Miss Katani showed up, she had half a bottle of wine already empty. It's already.
So this is Mary Bagwell talking about a party she attended. This infamous pool party they all talk about, right? And she's talking about Lindsay Gaetani, being under the influence around her kids, showing up at this pool party. And this is Mary Bagwell, the victim, speaking right now.
Gone, and she noticed us looking at her, and she shoved the wine bottle in the tote.
And let
in
me
her tote
pause you
bag.
right there. You
Yeah.
say when she showed up, was she driving? Did you see how she got to the party?
I didn't see her pull up. No, we were in the backyard.
Okay. So then what happened?
So then she, came over and introduced, said hi to everyone.
Did she have her kids with her?
Yes.
And how many kids does she have and what
Yeah, it's the judge who is questioning her right now.
are their ages, if you know?
She had 3 kids. 3 kids. I know Mila is 3. Cole is 5. I believe the other one was
Yes.
Susan.
To answer that question, this is the woman who LG threatened. Yes.
She has an older son, Cameron, that's a teenager, but I've only met him once, and he never really wants to go anywhere with them.
And how did her demeanor appear to you at this pool party?
When she came up to me, I noticed her speech was slurring. She had slurred speech. She was very disheveled and kind of all over the place.
Did you have concerns that she was intoxicated?
Yes.
Is this relevant to the order? Is this relevant to the facts?
It
that-
is, your
Okay.
yes. Soon after that at the pool party, was there an incident in the pool?
Yes.
And what occurred?
I was talking with people. There was like a little bar area, and I noticed her daughter fell off the unicorn blow up thing that was in the pool. It was in the deep end. My son Jacob was in the pool the whole time and dove under the water and went and pulled her up.
So essentially, your son saved her child from drowning.
Yes,
And did this happen a few more times throughout the day?
2 more times. Yes.
So 2 more times her child had to be rescued?
Yes.
Now, fast forwarding after this incident, the two of you have a conversation on the phone.
Actually, I think that's right. I think this isn't the judge. I think it's probably the lawyer, probably LG's lawyer asking the questions. I'm not sure about that, but I that makes sense actually. So I think we were wrong on that. So I think this is the attorney asking. It's hard to know because they're both women and they sound similar, but I think this is the attorney asking questions.
You just have to keep your voice up for the record. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Now, your affidavit that you filled out references a August phone call. Is that really July?
Yes, it's July.
And did you
All
have
right,
any
Mary's
phone
attorney,
records at the
that's
time you filled this
No.
harassment order affidavit out?
No.
So who ends up calling who in July?
Ms. Katani called me.
And what was that conversation?
She talked to me about what had happened and occurred at her court proceeding with Frankie and all of the details of what happened there. She had asked me to go, and I did not want to go with her to the court proceeding for that. And we talked, she talked a lot, we talked a lot.
At some point, did you raise any concerns you have with her?
Yes.
And what were those concerns that you raised on the phone call?
That she was about her drinking and the driving with the kids, and there was a knife incident when she was driving the kids to Castle Island, and she called us on, it was like a messenger app, and so she called us on audio and video. It was like a video, so we could see, like we saw her kids in the back. There was a group of us that were on that video call, and she seemed like she was very not coherent. She was very distraught. She was slurring her speech. We couldn't understand what she was saying. There was something happened. I guess she was going down a one-way street, and guys were coming out of the one-way street. So all that, she stopped the car and she started screaming. And then she keeps a knife on the side of her seat. It's in one of those shaft things. It's a long knife. And she's like, don't worry, I have a knife. And then she took the knife out, and then she left the kids in the car, abandoned in the middle of a busy intersection.
So just to summarize, the phone call raised concerns about this knife incident,
Yeah.
safety about the kids, drinking and driving. And was the incident about the pool also brought up too?
Yes.
And when you confronted her with these concerns you had about her behavior, what was her reaction?
She told me I needed to watch my fucking self.
First threat.
Any other things
Threat
that
number
she
one.
said to you that were threatening?
She said that, they are not my kids. Mind your own business. Worry about your own fucking kids. And
did she tell you at some point that she would come after you?
yeah, she said that she would. You don't know who you're fucking with. I will come to your house. I will come for you.
Threat number two.
When
This
she
is a
said you
really
better watch
smart
yourself,
person.
I'll come
This
for
is
you.
a really smart person. Oh, I just clicked back. Shit. Really smart though. Really brilliant right there. Oh my God.
Any other things that she said to you that were threatening?
She said that they are not my kids. Mind your own business. Worry about your own fucking kids. And
did she tell you at some point that she would come after you?
yeah, she said that she would. You don't know who you're fucking with. I will come to your house. I will come for you.
And when she said you better watch yourself and I'll come for you and I'll come to your house, how did that make you feel?
Scared and terrified, afraid.
And after this phone conversation, what, if any, steps did you take to protect yourself or distance yourself from her?
I avoided interacting with her. She invited Jacob and I to Cole's birthday party. I didn't go to that.
So it's safe to say that the two of you were departing after this incident?
Yes, but I was distancing myself from her and only mainly interacting with her in like an audio, like if she would call or someone would call in the audio call in the messenger app. Sometimes I would answer and then sometimes I wouldn't. Like if I knew she was calling or on the call, I mostly tried to just stay quiet.
And was there another phone call in September of this year?
Yes.
And I see that your affidavit references again another August call. Is it safe to say that that is really September and not August?
Yes.
And again, did you have your phone records in front of you when you were testifying at the ex parte hearing?
No.
Sorry.
No. Sorry.
What was the phone call in September about? Do you need a minute? Whenever you're ready. All right, is it okay if she just takes a minute?
Sure.
Thank you.
For people that don't know, this is a December hearing. Aiden Carney's ex-girlfriend was a chief witness for the state against him. This is the harassment prevention order right before Christmas. This is the hearing audio from it. Mary Bagwell is the victim. She was threatened 3 times by Lindsay Gaetani. And wait till you hear the Lindsay part. It's coming up soon. No, there's no dog in the courtroom. That's my dog in the background.
All right, counsel, why don't you and your client step out in the hallway? We can call some other matters.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we'll just put this on for just a brief further call.
You
And,
hear
and
that?
just so you know,
She's friggin' literally crying right now. Like they had to take up for. I mean, come on. Richie said this is really sad. It is sad. I mean, I almost have to laugh at times out at these ratchets. I mean, I feel really bad for her kids.
ma'am, you'll have an opportunity.
Calling to Mary Bagwell, where's Lindsay Katani matter?
Thank you.
Thank you. Both parties remain under oath. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so before the break, there was a discussion regarding events that occurred on September of 2024, and there was a brief discussion about the fact that it was not August of 2024, as was discussed in the affidavit, I believe.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. So you had a phone call in September, correct? And what can you tell the court about the phone call?
I had a talk with her again about safety of kids and the knife incident and the drinking and driving and a lot of heavy, she drinks a lot. And
The person on the right in the picture is Brian Tully. He's the state police detective that basically handled Lindsay Katani against Aiden Carney as a witness. So I thought it was a good picture to put up there, because this is Brian Tully's girl right here. This is the Massachusetts State Police. This is their witness.
a lot, I was concerned with her safety and well-being.
So you brought up similar concerns that you had brought up in the July phone call. Fair to say?
Yes.
And when you brought up these concerns, what was her reaction to you bringing these concerns up?
She told me that I needed to mind my own fucking business, that she is gonna come for me, she's gonna show up at my house and beat my ass in front of my children.
And when she said this to you, what was your reaction? How did you feel?
Terrified, scared. I was just trying to help her get help.
And after this phone call, did you stop all interaction with her?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yes,
Yes. Directing your attention to December 9th, were you on a podcast?
yes.
And what was this podcast?
It was the JSK podcast.
And what did you discuss on the podcast?
What was the date, Counselor? I apologize.
December 9th.
Okay.
What had happened at the pool party, my son saving her kids from drowning 3 times, her drinking, like just my perspective.
Yeah, good question. Who's thumping? Probably Grant Smith Ellis. I mean, that guy is so disruptive in courtrooms. So many times the audio is bad because he's typing too loud. This guy's a menace. I would not doubt if that's Grant Smith Ellis.
Of what had happened.
So just to summarize, you went on a
And again, this is Mary Bagwell. This is the victim speaking about what happened with LG.
podcast December 9th and spoke about your experience with the defendant.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And was, as far as you know, was this podcast made available for the public to hear?
Yes.
And soon after this was made public, what, if anything, occurred?
I received from 8 blocked phone numbers starting at 12:09 a.m. through 12:11 a.m. There were
And is that December 10th?
10th, December 10th,
And I'm showing you.
8 blocked what?
phone
phone
numbers.
numbers.
Phone calls?
Yeah.
Yes, phone calls. I'm showing you a depiction of.
And I apologize. What was the time of those?
12:08 a.m.
12:09,
12:09. To 12:10.
12:11.
And in front of you is what appears to be a screenshot. Did you take that screenshot?
Yes,
And that was on December 11th? Is that what you said?
December 10th.
Okay. So when you said 12:11, was that the time? Or was,
That's the timeline.
Yes, 12:09 a.m.
okay,
through 12:11
Okay.
a.m. on
okay.
12:10, which is my birthday.
And is this a screenshot of your phone?
Yes.
And when did you take that screenshot?
Within like a couple
Let me
of
straighten
days.
out, let me ask you differently. Do you see all these numerous blocked calls and unknown calls?
Yes,
When did you receive those calls?
on December 10th.
So this is fair to say it's a depiction of the phone calls you received on December 10th.
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to enter this into evidence. I did provide the defendant a copy of this earlier.
Okay. Have you received a copy of that, ma'am?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And can you just describe what that is? So that's a call, that's a log of calls?
Yes, it's a log of calls, and it's about 8 calls that say either unknown caller or no caller.
So they're just calls, they're not messages, they're just incoming calls that were not answered?
Yes.
Okay.
And at some point, did you answer any of those unknown or blocked calls?
Yes.
So they're talking about Mary Bagwell getting numerous blocked phone calls over and over and over again. And you know who they're coming from.
Who did you understand to be on the other side of that call?
Lindsay Katani,
And how is it that you know it was Lindsay Katani?
because I know her voice. I've had had some long conversations with her.
And what did she say?
All right. The picture right now is on the left is Lindsay Katani. She's the one that is Aiden's ex-girlfriend that is a chief witness against Aiden Carney in court. She is the subject of this harassment prevention order we're listening to. It's from December, right before Christmas, this hearing. It's not live. Right next to her is Kate Peters, her bestie friend, also called KP Krusty Panties. So these are the two ratchets that Court TV has put on the air. These are the wonderful people that Vinny and his producers decided to air.
She called me. She said, "Why are you fucking lying or talking about my kids on the internet show? I will kill you. I will rip your fucking head off. I will come to your house and murder you and your kids. You dumb bitch. Do you understand me, you dumb bitch?"
And can you describe for the court what her demeanor was like on the phone?
Very
Or her
out of
voice.
control, like very scary, very angry.
And at some point, did you inform her that you were going to begin recording the phone call?
Yeah,
And did you record that phone call?
yes.
And is it all recorded or?
No, the whole call is 46 seconds long. So when she started repeating the same threats again, I said, "Lindsay, I'm going to record you." And I did a new security upgrade from the iPhone security, where you press the record button and it doesn't record anything, but it gives 3 warning beeps. And then it says, "This call is being recorded."
Your Honor, I'd like to play that phone call.
So you'll have to play it into one of these
The microphone.
microphones, or it won't.
And I do have it for the court in USB as well.
Okay. Excuse me.
Obviously goes without even needing to be said, but obviously trigger warnings on all this material today for people who are sensitive.
I'm crying about my kids on an internet show and on the internet.
I'm not lying about your kids, Lindsay. Everything was true that I said. There were plenty of
You
witnesses.
stupid bitch!
You need to stop drinking. Sweetheart, you need to stop drinking.
You fucking cunt! I will come to your house and I'll murder you and your kids. You understand me? You dumb bitch!
Let's pause it there. That is the Commonwealth's chief witness against Aiden Carney. I can't say that enough. This is who Michael Morrissey and Brian Tully. Where the hell is NBC Boston? Where is Boston 25? Where is all these? Where's Christina Rexy? Are you just going to post the propaganda today from the clown show for evidence that's never going to be admitted? This was in court. Where are you? Why aren't you reporting on this? This is their chief witness. Are you listening to this? Are you listening to this woman? Why don't you guys cover Aiden Carney? Why is it just Karen Reed? This is at the heart of the conspiracy. These are the people they sicked on me. They try to threaten me. Where's the media? Did you listen to that media? Boston media. It's time to start reporting about this witness against Aiden. It's time to start reporting on the Betterow letters. Why hasn't the mainstream Boston TV news networks reported on these ratchets? We got to call him out. I love LTL, Brian LTL. Every time the Mass State Police post, he's under their comments, giving them hell. We need to do that to the people in the media, the local Boston TV media. The guy from Channel 7, what's his name? The guy that, all those guys, WCVB, any of them. Anytime they comment, we say, when are you going to talk about Lindsay Gaetani? When are you going to talk about the chief ratchet that they try to railroad Aiden with? I'm so tired of it. And you guys all know what they did to me. You know what they did to me earlier this year. Could have been any of you. Any of you. You know they're going to come after me again because I'm playing this audio. They're going to threaten me, all kinds of shit. I don't give a shit. Try to throw me in jail for playing this audio. I don't give a shit because I have had enough. So anytime any of these people in the Boston media, Christina Rex today posted her crap. Ask her when she's going to talk about Lindsay Gaetani and the death threats she made against children. And she's the number one witness against Aiden Carney. Are you shitting me?
Your Honor, I'd like to do that as an exhibit. Like I said, I had one.
Yeah, Court TV too. Vinny, anytime Vinny posts anything on Karen Reed, he has to be thrown. You got to throw this picture in his face and say, that woman on the left, we have audio of her threatening to kill children. And you put her on the air, Vinny, and you haven't acknowledged it. You haven't done shit. You've basically tried to frame Aiden Carney. Try to make Aiden look bad. What the hell are you doing, Vinny? And you still put that clown from Yellow Cottage Tales on the show. What? You guys are a friggin' joke. Vinny, put me on the air, Vinny. Let's see what happens. Put me up there with Yellow Cottage Fool. See what happens, Vinny. I'm calling you out, Vinny Politino. Put Betterow on the show. Why don't you, what are you afraid of? Vinny, a former prosecutor, Mark Betterow. Manhattan District Attorney's Office. You ever hear of that DA's office? Why haven't you put him on the show, Vinny? Court TV? These people threatened me because I reported facts on this case. So much so I had to get a criminal defense attorney. And Vinny, you've said shit. You put him on the air. You're a scumbag. Until you have someone like myself or Betterow on that show or Aiden Carney back on the show, until you bring up these witnesses, you are scum, Vinny Politino. He wants controversy? Bring me up, Vinny. I'll give you the controversy. I'll ratchet the hell up. Let's go, Vinny.
That'll be exhibit number 2.
Yes, Judge.
All right, ma'am, do you have any objection to that being entered as exhibit number 2? The phone call log is exhibit number 1.
I do, because
Okay.
I was never informed that I was being recorded. And as you can hear in the recording, there's no mention that the call is going to be recorded.
Okay. All right.
We need so many comments on there that
Do you want
Vinny
to
has
respond to
to.
that, counsel?
Vinny has to hide. He has to go into hiding. Well, it can't just be Scott McGinnis, one person up in Vinny's Twitter. I want everybody all over him every single day, every day, until he has to either privatize his Twitter or he has to do the right thing and have Betterow on, or myself, or Aiden Carney. He has to acknowledge that they put these people on their show who are total scumbags and who are not credible. This woman on the left lied about me. And then Betterow wrote a letter about it. She still hasn't apologized. I told her she's lying. Everything she said is a lie. I asked for a public apology. No comment. Hasn't said a word about it since. The one on the right threatened me with Tully for reporting facts about what was happening to Aiden back last year. The one on the left, we just played the audio. You heard, right, Vinny? These are the people you put on the air, Vinny. I've had enough.
It was being recorded, and actually was informed by the police that the defendant had actually gone to the police and confirmed it was her on the recording. Actually, when she was being recorded, so again, I think it comes to credibility rather than context. Credibility, she was informed of the recording.
Okay.
And I will say, Your Honor, I've reviewed it, and I find it is right. It is this new upgrade, so when you click record now on phones, it does alert the other person and it transcribes it. So when I reviewed what was sent to me, it was transcribed, which tells me that she would have had to receive notification. on the other side of that account because of this new update that comes out.
And what do you mean notification?
So this new app on the phone, when you hit record and the other person on the other line, it says you are now being recorded. And then it starts to record and transcribe that conversation. The other person on the other line, there's no way they wouldn't have to know because of this new software. I'm happy to demonstrate for the court.
Okay. You can continue.
Thank you.
I got to say this because a few people have noted, like, oh, don't the producers book Vinny's show? Isn't that who we should be talking to? Yes, but Vinny has a lot. Don't kid yourself. Vinny has so much say. Any host. And a lot of you know I used to do radio too. There's always producers that book for the host, but the hosts always have some type of say on this. And Vinny's gone along with this. He hasn't said shit on Twitter. Come on. This is Vinny. This is who Vinny is. He knows what's going on. He doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. So it's not just the people behind Vinny. It's Vinny too. And you know, he's got his own little YouTube going. He's got his own Twitter. Time to put up and shut up with Vinny. We gotta harass the crap out of him at this point because what he did and what he's done is not right.
You're visibly upset. Why is that?
I'm terrified. I'm scared. I think she's going to follow through. She's capable of doing it. I think she's going to do it. I think she's going to follow through with her threats. I think she's going to come to my house. I think she's going to murder me and my kids. Terrified. I can't sleep at night. I'm not hungry. I can't eat.
Did you notify the police after this incident?
I called 911.
And did the police appear at your house?
Yes.
And did you make a report?
Yes.
And I'm facing in front of you the police report. Could you just take a quick second to review it?
Thank you, Aiden. Aiden is watching, and he knows what happened, and he just edited this comment, basically so I can say it perfectly, which I appreciate. He says, they came after you for playing the tape from last year where I recorded a woman threatened to harm her own children, which exonerated me. So it's not funny. A year ago, last December, that's what they came after me for. And actually, wait, I didn't even play the tape, really. No. I heard the tape. I heard the audio, but I never actually uploaded it. They accused me of it. They accused me of editing it too, which I never did any of that. All I did was listen to it and gave my opinion of what I heard. That's all I did. I made a post about listening to that audio. And I said, hell of a witness you got there, Brian Tully. That's what I remember from that post. And that post is what they threatened me with over and over, saying, that's witness intimidation. You're going to jail unless you tell us everything you know about Turtle Boy and put him in jail. And I kind of, when that happened, I knew what the game was. And I knew I had to pretend that I possibly could even go along with it. And I was having doubts too. I was. But at the same time, I knew that, the great thing about that is they all started hitting me up and talking to me. And I said, what's your evidence against Karen? And I got to see who these people really are and how they operate. And I got a lot of information about them. And what people didn't know is that I was seeking out a criminal defense attorney. And that I was also, actually, I started even posting about that too. I got a lot of people hitting me up. A lot of attorneys actually telling me like, you should hit up this attorney and this one, it was awesome. Someone saw it, and a local attorney actually hooked me up with one of their partners. So that's what they, just for posting about it. And it's so funny that audio was her threatening children, her own children. And this audio we're playing a year later, 1 year later, she's threatening someone else's children on tape. Vinny, where the hell are you, Vinny? We got her twice on tape threatening children, 2 different groups of children, her own and then Mary Bagwell's. You can't make this up, and the Boston media is ignoring it. Aiden shouldn't have to cover this. I mean, thank God some of us YouTubers out here are covering it, but where is the Boston media, the big corporate media, the TV news? Where are they? Why haven't they pulled this audio? Why haven't they showed up at these hearings and said, Jesus Christ, this witness the state has, look at her. Yeah, where are you, Christina Rex? Why should a dog walker be covering this over you? Like, you're full-time, I'm not. You should be covering this, Christina Rex, not me.
Is that the police report from the incident?
Yeah,
And are those the statements you've made to the police?
yeah.
John, if I could enter this into exhibit number 3.
Okay. Any objection?
No objection.
Yeah, this is a great point right here. The local media are controlled by the local police and the local politicians. Because, this is another reason we should get after Christina Rex. We should say, hey, Christina, do you trade your credibility for access to Paul O'Keefe? Are you not covering this ratchet right here who has threatened children multiple times on tape? That's the chief witness against Aiden Carney. This is what the DA found for the number 1 witness against Aiden Carney. You won't cover it. Is it because the DA gave you access to Paul O'Keefe? Is that the games you're playing? Because that's what it looks like to me. Do you have any credibility, Christina Rex? Or are you just all about that pay for access game where you get access to Paul O'Keefe, get an interview, and that's your payback to the DA for hooking that up? Is that what's going on? Did what's his name? What was that guy's name? The guy that offered the burgers? Traub? Did Traub broker that deal for you?
Are you aware if these are pressing charges against, or taking out charges against her?
Yes, they are.
And how did you become aware of that?
The Lieutenant Donald sent me an email.
And are you seeking a 1-year extension of the harassment order today?
Yes, I am.
And why is it that?
No, this is a great point. They raided Karen's house and took our phones based on testimony from Natalie and Lindsay to Brian Tully. That's newsworthy. Absolutely. I didn't even think of that. Thank you so much, Turtle Boy, for weighing in on that. I mean, another reason they should be all over Lindsay Katani. All over it.
You are seeking that from the court?
I'm in fear of my children's lives, my life, terrified, I'm scared. I can't, it has affected me to the level of I don't want to go anywhere. I can't sleep at night. I'm like, if I lay down to go to bed, if I hear a noise outside, I look at my camera. I have cameras. Even with cameras, I look at the camera. I can't see anything. I get out of bed. I go downstairs. I look out the window. Then I go back upstairs, and then I'll hear a car go by or some other noise, and I'll do the same thing. I'll look at the camera, and if I can't see the surroundings, I'll go downstairs.
This is Mary Bagwell. I mean, you could hear her tears, her fear. This is real. And I don't blame it. I don't blame her for crying and being in fear of these people. Because these people have nothing. Like when you have nothing, that's when you're most likely to be irrational and acting out like a Lindsay Gaetani.
Look out the window. Usually after 2 or 3 times of that, I'll make a cup of tea, try to go back to sleep, but I can't sleep. I have no appetite, like,
Are you in fear of the defendant?
yeah, yes, I am.
Intimidated by the defendant?
Yes, I am. She's staring at me.
Thank you, I don't have any further questions.
Okay. All right, and ma'am, have you had an opportunity, have you seen this, counsel, did you give her a copy of this report? Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you saw this report, and this is a report of the Mansfield Police.
Think about it too. Like, I was named in the Betterow letter. Lindsay Katani attacked me with lies. I posted publicly. That's why Betterow quoted me, because I deny all the allegations that she made against me, saying that I did crimes. I know I didn't do any crime. I didn't do anything that she alleged against me. That KP is also pretty much alleged the same thing. Grant Smith, Ellis, all three of them. And I'm in the Betterow letters. None of them come talk to me. The Boston media, out to lunch. They don't care. They don't care. Aiden Carney, no interest. The chief witness is a liar. The chief witness has now threatened 2 groups of children, one her own. Then she also threatened Aiden's family in that audio too, starting to show up at their house. So she's threatened basically 3 sets of children now on audio. And this is the chief witness that Brian Tully used against Aiden Carney. This is also a witness they used against Karen Reed, Jane, as Aiden noted in the chat today. And the Boston media doesn't cover it. They should have her on the front page. I hope Howie picks this up much more too. I mean, if it wasn't for Howie Carr, thank God for Howie Carr.
Department incident report. You've seen this report?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Okay. Anything else to add, counsel?
There you are.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so ma'am, you have a right to respond. In light of everything that I've heard, I do need to tell you, particularly in light of the fact that I just got information that there may be a charge that's being filed against you for what may be threats to commit a crime. You do have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, so I have an obligation to tell you that before you give me any testimony in any way. This is a recording device. Everything that you say in this courtroom is recorded. So you absolutely have a right against self-incrimination. That's a Fifth Amendment right that you have. So you do not have to say anything here as it relates to this restraining order. You don't have to respond in any way. And I will caution you as it relates to.
So far, we've only heard from Mary Bagwell and her attorney. I believe that's the judge letting LG know she doesn't have to speak. And we're going to hear LG soon. And you're going to get a lot of info. Wow. Wait till you hear what she has to say. This is when it gets really good.
In particular, the events that took place that resulted.
Yeah, you know what? There's a good comment before we get to that. Carla says, Aiden, I have no clue how you don't have PTSD. Seriously. I'm sure he does have PTSD. I mean, I felt like I got it from these people, and what they did was nothing compared to what I didn't get thrown in jail. I didn't get charged. But just the threats, knowing Aiden was in jail was, freaked me the hell out. I had to go to mental health counseling. I can't imagine 60 days he was away from his kids. And with all these charges he's still facing, there he is right there. He says he does. I mean, how can you not? Gives me PTSD thinking about it.
Resulted in what may be a criminal application at the Mansfield Police, and those would be the events of December 10th. So in particular, you have the Fifth Amendment.
Microdots, they were threatening you too, man. It was freaky when he went to jail. It was just when they shackled him and walked him out. I mean, I'm getting tears thinking about what they did to him. Just, it's been a long year. Yeah, and then, after that night of hell with Lindsay, Turtle Boy almost died on the way home driving and got in an accident with his car, Lexus. All right, let's play this. I don't want to be crying now. I'm crying for Aiden, man. It's just, this shit bugs me.
Amendment read against self-incrimination as it relates to potential threats that were made. So again, be very careful. I'd caution you not to say anything specifically as it relates to those events, because there could be a criminal.
That's so funny to Richie. He says, Richie, Microdots, I'm sorry, says, I don't read Twitter, so I never really even was aware. Because my mental health counselor said, what would it be helpful if you just didn't go on Twitter and read that stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I think I need to know. So weird, because it's funny how Twitter comes up. With my mental health counselor, it came up. And I said, what do you think? You think I should not go there? And she's like, would it bother you more not to know? I said, yeah. And she said, well, then I guess you should go there. So funny. That's a good defense, Richie. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know.
Criminal case pending. Okay.
Yes,
All right. So you wish to respond in any way as it relates to this further extension of the harassment prevention order?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you may proceed.
So I feel like I need to give a bit of a background as to the events that led up to this. First of all, I'm standing in this courtroom today with a person sitting behind me who I have an active restraining order against. His name is Aiden Carney. He is also known as Turtle Boy, and he is a blogger that has been covering the Karen Reed murder case.
Okay. You have a restraining order against that person?
He's in
Okay.
the courtroom behind me right now. I will mention that the order several months ago was amended at the Dedham District Court, so he could be within 50 yards of me at any courthouse. But that he is the center of, I believe, in my opinion, what brings us here today.
So it's because of Aiden. It's all, I mean, imagine the balls of that to come up to a judge after they play the audio. I mean, the audio is so heinous and disgusting. You threaten someone's children, but with violence. And not just once, you threaten this lady over and over again and her children. And you get up there and say, oh, this is really about Aiden. This is about Aiden. It's not about what I did. Are you shitting me? Doesn't she have anyone in her life that to say, hey, honey, maybe you should just shut the fuck up. Maybe you should just stop. Maybe you should just disappear. I mean, when is enough enough? This is affecting your life. You need to stop. And not like, I don't know what it was, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it was off. It did wonders for me. She needs to take 2 years off of this. She needs to stop. And I'm not giving her any advice about testimony. I hope she testifies. I hope she testifies against Aiden because I want to see it. I want to see her get destroyed. I do, because she's a liar and she's a narcissist and she's made it all about her. But she is a nasty person and you can hear it in these voicemails. So here she is. Here's Miss Lindsay Gaetani. Oh, it's Aiden's fault. Shut up, woman.
I briefly dated him, and he was charged with several crimes.
Briefly dated him. He didn't even want to take credit. He doesn't even want to credit you as a girlfriend. He's basically saying you were just someone he had sex with on Friday nights. So I briefly dated him. Shut up, woman. Oh my God. I just can't even listen to these two. Anytime I hear either of them, Lindsay or this other one, the ratchet on the right there, their voices, they're such victims. Oh, it's so difficult. Oh, it sucks. My life sucks. It's because of Aiden. My life sucks. No, your life sucks because of you.
Against me for witness intimidation, assault and battery, and wiretapping. he was indicted on those charges because he tried to prevent me from testifying against him when I was issued a subpoena to testify in front of a grand jury. And those matters are still pending. They have not been adjudicated yet. So the chat room.
She thinks that the Mass State Police frame up is going to protect her here again. Sorry, honey. You made violent threats of children on audio, recorded audio. Tully doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. Even Michael Morrissey, even the Krusty Panties doesn't want to do it. You could tell Krusty even today was backing off on you.
Where I initially started talking to Miss
Pretty soon, you're just going to have Crazy Grant around, and you know why he's there, right? He needs to finally get some action. He's never had any action from anybody.
Well, was created as a support group for victims and witnesses of Mr. Carney and people who believed in Karen Reed's guilt. And I began talking to Ms. Bagwell in that chat room that consisted of about, I want to say,
He thought he was gay. Yeah, he apparently I think he's bi. He'll take it any way he can. Male, female, he doesn't care. He just wants to get some action. He's never had any. You know? That's it, Microdots. He doesn't care who it is. Grant.
roughly 10 people on Facebook Messenger over the course of a few months. Ms. Bagwell incorrectly stated in her testimony that she first spoke to me in 2023, but it was actually this past year, 2024. I think it might have been April or May, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit after. And all of the conversations in that group between everyone were always...
Just so you know, my notes indicate that it was around June of 2024. That was what I have in my notes.
I think that's the time that she said she first met me, but the first time she said she spoke to me, I believe she said 2023.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure I clarified.
Okay.
So all of the interactions in that group chat between everyone, myself and Ms. Bagwell and everyone else in the group were always cordial and friendly. I've never had an issue with Ms. Bagwell at all. I barely know her. I did meet her for the first time if you're saying June of 2024, I would have to agree because I don't know the exact date, but it was at a protest for during the Karen Reed trial. And we interacted minimally, but friendly. We didn't talk much. There was a lot of people there that day. And like I said, it was the first time I met her through a mutual friend. I actually gave her a ride back to her car, and then we continued talking throughout the group chat after that. She mentioned that I asked her to attend hearings with the father of my children. That is incorrect. I've never asked her to attend, or anyone for that matter, to attend any hearings with the father of my children. She offered to attend a hearing with me and Mr. Carney at one point, which I did accept her offer, and she met myself and my aunt at a local restaurant for lunch prior to the hearing, where she interacted with me and my aunt and a couple of other friends, friendly and cordial, and I left first to get to the hearing on time, and Ms. Bagwell and my aunt went shortly after. They were going to come inside the courtroom, but never made it inside because there was not enough seating. Ms. Bagwell was upset after that. She told me that I should file a complaint with the victim advocate, who said that she was going out to look for my aunt and Ms. Bagwell to get them a seat. Ms. Bagwell claimed the victim advocate never came outside, and she was upset about this, that she had to wait outside, and the victim advocate never came out to get her. But she did not display any frustration or upset with me. We continued talking Occasionally, still friendly and cordial, never had any issues. Then I think I saw her at maybe one other protest where again, there was nothing but positive interactions. But again, minimal contact with me and Miss Bagwell. The next time I saw her was at a pool party on July 8th at my friend Carrie Lama's house in Stoughton. I was the last one to arrive. There was probably between 10 to 15 people in total. My friend, Miss Lama, has a pool at her house, and I reside in Medfield, so I have 4 children. 3 of my children came with me, but I had to get my children lunch, so I was the last one to come. I packed bags for my children with extra clothes, goggles, towels, snacks, juice boxes, life vests, puddle jumpers. And then on the way, I sent a text to the group chat and asked if everybody was already at the pool because I wanted to stop and get some arm floaties as well, just in case my son didn't want to wear his puddle jumper. But everybody told me in the chat that they were already there, so I said, that's okay, I have the puddle jumpers and the life vest, it'll be fine. And I got there. I was not under the influence of any alcohol or drugs when I arrived. I do not drive drunk with my children. I do not have an alcohol problem. I arrived with my children with all 3 of my youngest children, 3, 4, and 6 in tow, and all of the bags packed with everything they could need. If anything, I would consider myself a helicopter parent because I never take my eyes off of my children. I am the only caretaker they have. I don't have any immediate or extended family, and their fathers are not involved, so I care for them on my own all the time. When I got there, I wasn't even able to greet everybody because my children saw the pool and were very excited to get in. I immediately dropped everything, put sunscreen on all of them, made them wait for the sunscreen to dry, then put their life vests and puddle jumpers on, and then brought them into the shallow end of the pool where the stairs lead into the pool. Miss Bagwell's son, Jacob, was in attendance. I believe he was 17 at the time. And there was also another friend of mine whose child was there. She, I believe, was 18. And like I said, the multiple other adults. I never once left my children's side other than on 2 occasions, I separately brought 2 of my children into the bathroom. And then at one point, I sat down at the urging of one of the other adults to sit down and have a pizza, which I think I took 2 bites out of. Other than that, my eyes were on my children the entire time, just like they always are. I am especially nervous around pools. I have been a competitive swimmer most of my life. I am trained as a lifeguard. I taught my 6-year-old son to swim when he was 3. My other 2 do not know how to swim, so, but even my 6-year-old, I wouldn't let him go past the shallow line. Miss Bagwell was very quiet. She was there with another person, a friend of hers, Christy, who nobody knew who invited them, and they were very quiet and kind of stuck together the whole time and didn't interact with anyone. I have brought 3 written statements from attendees of that pool party who can attest to everything that I have said. And then I also have a witness here in person who was also at the pool party that did not write a written statement, but is willing to testify about what she saw at that pool party. Do you want me to take a break for a minute while you read those, or should I keep going?
No, I do have an objection to these coming to evidence.
Okay. Well, I think that I'll certainly, we don't need to take a break. I can certainly read them. I'll hear you on your objection.
Sure, so Your Honor, what I'm not sure if it's true, cross-examination purposes.
And you're just talking about, tell me what the letters are being offered for.
The letters declare that my children never even came close to drowning. None of the story of which Ms. Bagwell told is anywhere close to the truth.
Okay.
That I was an attentive mother the entire time. I was not under the influence. I did not leave my children's side. There was, just about my state of mind and my interactions with my children.
Okay. I mean, I will certainly take a look at the letters. To be very frank, that doesn't have any basis in my decision whether to extend the order.
Right.
It doesn't, it frankly has no basis, whether you were, don't take this the wrong way. It's not that I don't care whether you're a good mother or a bad mother.
Right.
It doesn't have any basis as to the conduct that I have to look at in extending the order.
And-
So the conduct that I'm looking at is your conduct as it relates to the plaintiff in the order. I'll look at them, I'll look at the letters and I'll read them. I'll certainly take a note of counsel's objections to them, but I'll read them because you've had them prepared. But it's not relevant to what I'm looking at to extend the order, but I will certainly take a look at them.
Okay.
I'll read them. I'm not going to admit them as evidence because I don't, again, I don't find them, they're not relevant to the issues that I'm looking at as it relates to the conduct.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you like me to wait?
Yeah, if you can just hang on 1 second just so that I can read what you've submitted.
Seriously, Turtle Boy made me do it. That's a defense. That's her defense. Turtle Boy made me do it. Aiden made me do it. It's not my fault. I'm just being a good mother. As she threatens her kids on audio last year that Aiden recorded, as she threatened Aiden's family. And now this year, she threatens a new group of kids, this Mary Bagwell and her children. This is from a December HPO hearing, harassment prevention order right before Christmas. Exactly 1 year ago when she was pulling the bullshit on all of us. She got it right back. Such karma. This judge is seeing right through it. You can already hear it. And if any other media outlets or YouTubers want this, they can use this audio. You have my permission. Howie Carr, I'd love to hear this on Howie Carr's show. Or if Christina Rex or Vinny decide to actually present the full truth, they can use it. If they're not afraid to get threatened by these ratchets.
And you've seen these?
I have, Your Honor.
Okay.
That is too kind. Ratchet is too kind. I feel bad for all the ratchets out there to be compared to these two. Seriously. A lot of the ratchets don't deserve to be compared to these two. It's so true.
Okay, have read what you've submitted. I'll have these marked as defendant's exhibit. I'll note your objection for the record, counsel, but I will have them marked as an exhibit. I did read them, and they do reference some of the defendant's conduct, so I'll mark them as relevant, again, to the case, but again, not
Vinny, I'm sorry, I was muted. Vinny, he's concerned about Hank. That's rich of him now. He should be concerned that he put these two ratchets on his show and he silenced Aiden Carney. He doesn't let Aiden come on his show to defend himself. He put these ratchets on. This one on the left who's threatened 3 different groups of children. Hasn't put Betterow on, hasn't put me on, hasn't put anyone strong on to call this out. Am I still muted? No, I'm not muted. Good. Sorry about that. All right, let's play it again. If I'm not muted once a show.
necessarily to the conduct that's at hand. Okay. All right, you may continue.
So I also have my text messages with Ms. Bagwell printed out. I have messages from after the pool party at July 8th where she's, I mean, I will, if you're able to read these, you can read them, but just friendly conversation. She's asking if I got home okay, following up with me about issues with other people that she's having. Never once does she mention anything about any drowning incidents or concerns about my drinking. She also at one point points out, well, these are text messages, but I also...
Good for Karen. I wouldn't give Christina Rex the time of day if I was Karen Reed. Until she starts covering this stuff, I'd go talk to Ted Daniel. Seriously. Christina Rex wants an interview with Karen Reed. I wouldn't talk to her until she starts digging into this shit. I heard she's a good reporter. I've seen some of her stuff is not bad, but she only goes so far. Why isn't she looking at these ratchets? So if I was Karen Reed, I would continue to walk by Christina Rex until Christina Rex actually shows she's serious about actually covering these cases and looking at these witnesses.
Also have Facebook messages where she had pointed out what a great mother I am. Ms. Bagwell, though, went and unsent every single message in the group chat before this hearing. So you can see my responses where I respond and say, oh my God, Jacob was so, oh wait, that was somebody else. Where I say...
Someone says Betterow has been on Court TV recently, not a long interview, just a contribution. Yeah, but was it on Karen Reed? I don't think so. I haven't, and he is the number one most popular, most credible, most respectable interview you can get on Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. And the fact is they haven't brought him up and given him, I mean, that's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Something along, let me see if I can find the exact one. Thank you, and so are you, and saying...
I mean, it's embarrassing that Court TV hasn't had Betterow on their show for the Karen Reed case as many times as I have. I mean, how many times have I had him on? Like 30, 40 times now, I bet. Maybe even 50. And they still haven't figured it out? I mean, what is wrong with Court TV? Those producers should be fired.
With a crying emoji because she had told me that I'm a great mother and that it was so nice to see me interact with my kids. But she went and unsent every single message because on Facebook Messenger it allows you to unsend messages. So I have those messages from after the party, but then the text messages as well. And then she claimed in August that I threatened her twice. I know she has since tried to change the date and say that she got the date wrong, but you can see her communicating with me in August.
There you go. There's another example too. Melanie Little. Yeah, I mean, who are the two biggest credible known names on Karen Reed? Attorney Mark Betterow and attorney Melanie Little. Like they are stars. And look at the views that they get. People love them. They are the most popular by far. And Melanie Little hasn't been on since she got in a little disagreement with Jennifer Coffindaffer. I mean, someone with no pull at all. How ridiculous is that?
Specifically Friday, August 9th. She says, when's your court date? I didn't respond to her. Monday, August 12th. She says, I don't know what happened between you and Kate, but I'm here for you, girlfriend, with a heart emoji. I didn't respond. And then the next message on Monday, September 23rd, which is the day that she claims I made a phone call to her, she made a phone call to me. It lasted an hour and 50 minutes. And the entire phone call consisted of her complaining about a man named Joe Warren and how she was fighting with him and upset because she took him to the hospital and helped him when he broke his leg, but he was supposed to bring her out for dinner afterwards and he didn't, and she was angry with him. And she followed up with that phone call with screenshots of her messages with her and this man, Joe Warren, on September 23rd after we got off that hour and 50-minute call, which would contradict her statement that I was on the phone during that hour and 50 minutes threatening her. And then my phone ended up dying because I was on the phone with her so long, and I never contacted her again. The next contact I ever had from her was Friday, December 6th, because I saw that she suddenly was in chat rooms of various YouTube shows, making comments about me, lying about the father of my children, lying about my parenting, and lying about the case with Mr. Carney. So I sent her a text on Friday, December 6th, saying, "Why are you lying about me like this, Mary? You just make up completely false things about people now. Why would you say such a thing? What is actually wrong with you?" And that was the last contact I had with her until the day that I heard her calling to that YouTube show called JFK. I actually didn't hear her live. I was in bed with my children, and then I got a message from another friend who told me that, or asked me, "Oh my God, did you hear what Mary is saying about you on YouTube?" And she sent me the link to the show, and by that time the show was over. It was probably past midnight. But I went back and listened to it, and Mary had called into the show and started telling this crazy story about my children drowning and being found at the bottom of the pool back in July, and that her son had to save my children, and that I was drunk and not paying attention, and I heard that, and after, I will skip back a little bit. So for the past year, since Mr. Carney was charged with...
Anybody that would pick Yellow Cottage Tales to be on their show over Melanie Little is a moron. It's like unbelievable.
The charges against me. He has a massive cult following, like hundreds of thousands of viewers on his YouTube shows and social media platforms. And he has been, like, even despite the restraining order, writing about me, harassing me nonstop for the past year, getting his followers to harass me, harass my children, having.
But this is about you, this is about the two of you, so we have to.
Right, but there is
remember
some, it does lead into it, because Ms. Bagwell gave Mr. Carney access to the group chat we were in, despite my restraining order, and then all of a sudden, she changed, for lack of a better phrase, she switched sides and went on Mr. Carney's side and tried to start helping him with his case. And he announced even last night on his show that he got her lawyer for today, and he would be in attendance. So I feel like this is another intimidation tactic. I want to make something very clear as far as the phone call. I am not trying to make excuses or diminish anything that I said. I am ashamed. I am disgusted with myself that I let them get the best of me, that I let them get under my skin, and that I reacted the way that I did.
After all that, she finally says, "I'm embarrassed. I did something wrong." I wonder if that's the first time she's ever done that in her life. It seems like it. She should have opened up with that and then shut the hell up.
My children have been incessantly harassed for the past year.
Oh,
and when
my children, let me hide behind my children. That she threatened on audio. She's always hiding behind the children, but she just threatened some other mother's woman children. She threatened Aiden's family too. So she's, in my eyes, from what I've heard, she's threatened 3 different families' children, including her own. But now she's going to hide behind the children. I mean, this woman, what do you, I mean, I'm trying not to just lose my shit, but.
Bagwell went on the show. So for my children's private impounded probate documents have been posted online. We have been followed on private vacations and pictures of them taken on the beach and posted on the internet. Anytime I've had to call the police, they have gotten police audio and posted it online. They have posted about my children making fake accounts, calling my daughter closet baby. And Mr. Carney has lied and said that I locked my youngest daughter in a closet and I don't feed her. And last night he made another mention about closet baby, and this has been one big joke. And so Ms. Bagwell to go on the show.
You're a big joke because of your actions, Lindsay. That has nothing to do with Aiden at this point. It's all you. Even what you post on your Twitter. This phone call is a perfect example of that awful threat you made to those children.
So even Mr. Carney and the other people that have been harassing my children, and I have never named my children.
And I hope the O'Keefe family's proud. You know, I try to be nice to them. I try not to go after Paul and Peggy and all them, but I hope they're proud of their friend that they brought to court that day. I hope they're very proud to be associated with these 2 ratchets that we have on the screen, KP and LG. I hope they're proud. These are their babies. They've given birth to some babies here, LG and KP. They should own that.
Ms. Bagwell went on the show and named and gave their ages. So, you know.
Yeah, Jen McCabe too. I hope she's proud. Jen McCabe, are you proud to be associated with these people? I mean, I'm sure you. Oh man, let's just play
their
the video.
schools have been called. DCF has been called. They have been tortured, and they are 3, 4, 6, and 12, and they have nothing to do with any of this. And Ms. Bagwell called into the show. No one was even talking about my children and I, and did this, I believe, as a way to instigate and help Mr. Carney get me to react. And I don't, like I said, I am not making an excuse, but it was a.
You're not making an excuse while you're making it an excuse. I mean, come on. Just because words come out of your mouth doesn't mean anyone believes you. I know it's tough for your ego to get that, LG. Your empty ego that you lead with every single time. Nobody believes you. The judge doesn't believe you. Nobody in this chat, nobody that ever hears that audio is ever going to believe a thing you say. And it's not because of Aiden. It's because of you, who you are.
I wasn't going to actually rip her head off or kill her. It was a horrific choice of words. I would never harm a fly. I'm a registered nurse. I have never been in trouble in my life. I would never.
How the hell is she even a registered nurse? Are you kidding me? You imagine if she showed up and she wanted to be a registered nurse? Run.
Do anything to harm anyone. I reacted in the moment as my motherly instincts kicked in, and I just had reached my boiling point with my children being attacked and Ms. Bagwell naming them on a public show with thousands of viewers. And so I want to say that first of all, but the other 2 instances that Ms. Bagwell listed on her affidavit are completely false. They've never happened. I've never had any other problems with Ms. Bagwell. This has never happened before. I've never even had ill will towards her. So I don't believe that the restraining order should be extended. I don't wish to have any contact with her. I don't want to harm her. I don't have any intention of going near her. I don't run in the same circles as her. I don't even leave my house because I am followed everywhere I go. I am scared to leave my house from the harassment that I receive. And I do have a witness here that will testify to all of this, and I don't know if you would like to see these messages as well from after the dates that Ms. Bagwell mentioned that she alleged that I threatened her.
don't know if that is or why those messages would be relevant.
Okay. And what's the relevance of those messages?
That was when she was sharing with me the same day as the phone call where she said I threatened her. She was complaining about this individual named Joe. She was showing me screenshots that they were fighting and discussing their interactions, why they were fighting. It proves that I was not talking to her about threatening her. She was talking to me about this man that she was having a problem with.
And they were on the same day?
Yes, same day. Same time as the phone call.
And that was one of the questions that I had was was that the July day that you were referencing?
That was September 23rd.
Okay.
Your Honor, same objection. I'm not sure if those messages
Okay.
nor what happened here.
All right, I'll take a look and I'll make a decision. And one question that I did have, and it has come up as I've listened to the defendant talk, what were the exact dates? I did have a question mark as to noting that there was, the dates that were on the affidavit were different, the months were different. So what was, if your client knows, what were the exact dates?
Sure, so the most recent is December 10th.
Right, that one I do have.
And then do you recall when
September 23rd.
September 23rd?
Okay.
And then is it
That was the phone call in July 16th.
July 16th?
That's when she called me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take.
Yeah, I love this too. DCF has been called. That's quite literally what DCF exists to do. Calling DCF is not a crime. It's a public service, especially if the person's been drinking around their kids all the time, driving, acting irrationally, doing crazy stuff. That seems very reasonable to call DCF about. And it's not a reason to threaten to kill somebody and their children. I mean, if someone reports you to DCF, that's not a response. Even if it was a BS DCF call, which I don't think this was, but let's pretend it was, even if it was false, you don't respond that way. There's no excuse for what she did. None. She threatened a mother and her children.
Thank you. And the packet that you just handed up, those are all different dates? Are these?
Yes, the text messages, yes. They're all of our text messages that we've ever had. But they should be dated.
Okay, and they're different dates in July?
Some from July, yes, after the party. Some from September.
September, okay.
Yeah, I've never been in trouble, but I put all these people in jail and had all these restraining orders filed against other people. But I've never been in trouble. I mean, I'm old. You guys know I'm old, right? I've never filed a restraining order against anybody. I guess I'm just lucky. Every relationship she's in, but she's never been in trouble.
So these are messages between the plaintiff and Joe, is that correct? That she was sharing with you?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so I would find them relevant because they are dated the same day, which is September 23rd. And I'll give you an opportunity to respond after the defendant is finished, but I would find them relevant because they're offered to show the nature of the relationship on the date of one of the offenses of the threats. So we can mark that as defendant's exhibit, second exhibit. Yes, thank you.
picture right there on the screen is Brian Tully, Detective Brian Tully with the Massachusetts State Police, and his confidential informant against Turtle Boy and Karen Reed, Lindsay Gaetani, on the screen here. She's the one who, as far as I can see, has threatened 3 different groups of children, one of them being her own, on audio.
All right, and then I have conversations that are dated July 8th and 11th. And then the 14th. And then the 16th. Okay, and the conversations from July 16th and then 17th, who were these between?
I don't know if I recall which one.
Okay. It just says Mary at the top. And it's the packet that you submitted. It starts on July 8th, and it's just sporadic messages that go through the 11th, the 12th, the 14th.
So you, starting on
The
the 15th, you
15th.
said?
It starts on the 8th and it goes through to the 15th, 16th.
Starting on the 8th was,
And then the 16th.
sorry. Starting on the 8th, the hi girlfriend, just making sure you got home okay safely. That was Mary texting me. Sorry, this one isn't in color, so I can't see the color change, but the next, I don't know what happened. The next message, I don't know what happened, phone hung up, I called you back, is from Mary as well. July 11th, I sent her my aunt's phone number because that's when she was trying to get into the courthouse for Mr. Carney's hearing. And she states that she couldn't get in because they were at capacity, and she's standing with my aunt. So these are back and forth between me and Mary, where she says we left, your aunt went to go get the kids, that's Mary. She said, I finished shopping at BJ's, that's Mary. I did text her on July 14th and said, are you free later on if you want to stop by for Cole's birthday, we're having cake. And she said she couldn't make it, but said to tell Cole that Jacob and Aaron said happy birthday. And then she texted me July 15th, is everything okay? Julie told me something happened with your neighbor. I didn't respond. And she said, I hope everything's okay, with the heart emoji and praying hands. The next message is from her as well. Maybe your aunt or Kate can be a middle person for you and Frankie. Tuesday, July 16th, I think your phone died. I know mine, I had to plug it in, was Mary as well. Then she sends me a screenshot of a woman's Twitter post, a mutual friend of ours. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I just, in particular, the 16th, the message that's on the 16th and 17th.
Okay, yeah, so that was her on the 16th, but sent that screenshot, and she said, is Elise talking about, can't see because the arrow is in the way. Oh, is Elise talking about you here? Kara sent it. She said it was someone making up rumors. I don't have Twitter. That's Mary speaking. I said, hi, Mary. I'm sorry my phone died. Just got it back on. And she said, I figured that, LOL, with a laughing emoji. Wednesday, July 17th, she said, I won't say anything to Julie and Joe. I'll just see how things go. I know it will upset Kate, so I won't. July 17th, 7:19, she says, Tony said Elise was in some Free Karen Reed message group, and Aiden was in it the day before yesterday. He left the group, someone added him, he said, "I'm the fuck out of here." July 17th, she sends me a screenshot of a refrigerator, or I think it's a screenshot of a conversation with somebody else that she sent a picture of a refrigerator to, saying, "I'm in therapy, oh no." As she was talking between her and another mutual friend, Elise. So she said, "Kate said Elise said the fridge was a lie. I told her it's not, WTF. Well, here's the text messages." She said, "If Julie," Wednesday, July 17th, "if Julie shows up on 7/22, don't let her near you guys or at the table at Tahiti. The fucking traitor. I'm not sure what time I can get there. I have to work. Both Joe and I texted her this morning. She hasn't responded to either one of us." Wednesday, July 17th, 6:01, Mary says, "My response back to Julie, take some accountability for what you did." Do you want me to read this entire thing?
Well, this is just between you and Mary. That's
Yes.
what all of these messages are?
Yes, correct. That's a pretty long message, so I don't know if you want me to go through the whole thing. But I never responded, and the next time she texted me was July 20th, asking how I and the kids were doing with the heart emoji. Okay.
All right, and do you have anything else to add?
I do, just a little bit more. So I also, when I mentioned that Ms. Bagwell and I believe, I don't know if it was just her or her and her friend Christy, but they let Mr. Carney into the group chat that I had been a part of. The chat had been, for lack of a better word, had been dead for quite some time. There hadn't been any movement or any talking in it for several weeks. And all of a sudden I got an alert that somebody changed the group name to Aiden Loves to Spy chat. And Mary texted in the group and said, "Kara, that's a more fitting name for this chat. Seriously, the way some people flipped and ratted people out. All I have to say is karma's a bitch. Buckle up, traitors, because when it comes for you, you're done." And she did a laughing emoji and 100 emoji. And another girl, Kara, said, "Uh-oh." And so I believe that was her way of saying that she was going to get her karma on me because she had switched to being on Team Aiden, for lack of a better term. I also have a picture that was taken, Mary took of herself after she got the emergency restraining order with her friend Christy, where she is smiling and holding up the restraining order as if she was bragging about it. And then her friend Christy posted on Twitter with the recording that Mary took of me on the phone and attached it to a zoomed in picture of my crotch area and saying, "Ha ha ha, DCF is coming for Lindsay today." And I actually did in fact get a call from DCF that day telling me that somebody who they suspected was Mary based on the details of the report. She read the report to me, had called DCF and said that they weren't in fear of my children because of an incident that had happened months prior in July. DCF did not screen in the report because they found it to be fictitious. Another post was made where somebody on Twitter said that 12,000 people had to click on that soaked denim whoopee wallet, referring to my vagina, to listen to a sea donkey scream insults and threaten a woman and children. That's a lot of views.
To my vagina. Oh man, I had it. I mean, seriously, this is the best you have. I'm gonna go through all this little tit tat that we had with Ms. Bagwell, and I'm hoping that a judge is going to ignore that I threatened to kill her and her children. I mean, are you kidding me?
And Mary's friend Christy, that was with her and actually wrote the second half of her affidavit.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the relevancy of what her friends are doing out there.
And what are you reading from? What is this from?
Twitter. They're
not
posts.
advertised.
And what account is this?
Her friend
I'll say it again, LG. Get off Twitter. Stop reading this. Stop watching this. Don't even watch this today. Go talk to your shrink. Go find some hobbies that are constructive. Go help your children. The whole problem is you.
Christie that wrote the second part of her affidavit, the second page.
The second page of what?
Ms. Bagwell's affidavit about the 2 incidents in August.
That was actually written by the judge at the time. That was not written.
What do you mean by the second page?
So on the second page, there's a portion that is,
Of this affidavit for the restraining order?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a video on YouTube somewhere and a post by her friend Christy Citroni where she admitted that she had to write part of the affidavit for Ms. Bagwell because her hands were shaking so bad.
Well, I can tell you that the affidavit that there's I'll look at the affidavit and I'll read it. And there was a portion that the judge initialed and it appeared that it was testimony during the hearing that the judge added. And I think the judge initialed it from what I saw.
I'm just trying to prove the point that this is all unrelated to Mr. Carney. He even commented on it himself on these posts. And Ms. Bagwell's friend that was with her in court says Lindsay's a fucking psycho who set up Aiden, and everybody's going to see that now. Never fuck with somebody who has more assets than you. Big mistake. Huge.
That sounds like pretty factual, actually. That you're a psycho. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if your client is connected to any of these posts, I mean, it's relevant if someone's holding up if she's holding up her restraining order on a social media, it's relevant. So if that's what she has, then I would see it. If it's public posts of other people, then it's not relevant. But if there's something of your client holding the restraining order that just issued, then that's relevant. So if that's what you have, I would see that. If it's public Twitter posts, I don't find that relevant.
it's public, Your Honor, and she showed me this other day. It's not my kind of posting, so I just want to be very clear about that. So that's why I don't find it relevant as to what
Okay.
other people are.
I'll take a look at what you can take a look at it as well, and then I'll make a decision. Just looking for the affidavit, yeah. Yeah. So this we can mark as defendant's exhibit. Okay. And I think the affidavit's probably buried underneath all of this stuff. And this packet will be marked as defendant's exhibit 6. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You put it on the front or the back?
Back, please.
Thank you. Okay, so just the question regarding the affidavit. This is the affidavit that was completed by the plaintiff. This top portion was completed by the plaintiff right here. This bottom portion, that was completed by the judge.
Okay.
So that was added by the judge, and that states plaintiff testified at the hearing that in August of 2024, defendant called her and said, quote, "You better watch yourself." Also in August, end quote, also in August 2024, the defendant said she would come after her. And then the judge initialed that and wrote the date, which was 12/10 of 24. And I looked at that and I wondered what that was. And I noted the same color pen and I noted the judge's initials.
Perhaps was there a written police affidavit maybe? Maybe that's what they were referring to. I'm not sure.
I have no idea, but I can tell you that that was definitely, that's common practice. If testimony comes in during a hearing, a judge is instructed to add the testimony to the affidavit and initial it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. That's not something that you would know, but that's what that is.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and I'm going to take a look at, so this would certainly be relevant if this is, I mean, that's your client holding up a copy of the order.
My client is the one that took that picture, Your Honor, posted it online. I agree with the court, I think that's relevant, but it's not my client who took it, nor is my client who posted it.
Well, I think it's relevant if someone's holding up an order and allowing someone to take a photograph. I it's relevant. It's the court's restraining order that your client is holding up and allowing someone to take a picture of her. So I'm accepting it. And where was this posted?
I believe it was on Twitter or Facebook. I think.
And
Twitter.
whose account?
Christy Citrone's, I believe. Or
And who is
she-
that?
Her friend that's in the picture with her.
It just someone's personal Twitter account?
Yes. Or public, it's public.
Right, but it's not a group Twitter, it's a personal Twitter account of a friend of the
Right,
plaintiff's.
correct.
Okay. Okay, so I don't find any of this other, it's just I will look at the photo, but I don't find anything else relevant. So we'll keep the photo, you can return the rest. Noting that it was posted to someone else's account. And we'll mark that as the defendant's exhibit. And is there anything else that you wish to add?
I would just like to say that I think this, like I said, my reaction, obviously nobody could have seen that coming, but I believe the events leading up to it, trying to instigate and trying to get under my skin and using my children, knowing that that's a way that hurts me and has harmed me for the past year. They were hoping for a reaction to try to discredit me in my upcoming testimony against Mr. Carney. And I would, I don't know if you would like to hear from my witness, but she could testify to any interactions that she's witnessed between me and Ms. Bagwell, to see if she's ever seen any sort of the instances that Ms. Bagwell has described, because she was in the group chat and she's also been present during the times where I met Ms. Bagwell.
Okay. Well, the relevance would be, was she present on July 16th when the alleged threats were made, or September 23rd, or December 10th?
No.
Okay.
Just the pool party on July 8th.
Okay. All right. If she's testifying to any of the dates where the alleged threats were made, that would be relevant. But if she has testimony just regarding the relationship leading up to and after the dates of the alleged threats, I wouldn't find that would be relevant, because the plaintiff testified that you did have a good relationship. So I think that she would confirm, that your witness would confirm that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And counsel, do you have anything else to add in response?
Well, Your Honor, I would like to call Ms. Bagwell for just a couple more questions.
Okay.
For clarity purposes. That's okay.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Just very briefly, there was a picture that you saw after the ex parte order. Do you have a chance to see that?
Yeah, I saw it actually.
Who took that picture?
Christy took it.
And who's Christy?
She's someone I know. I'm friends with.
And was she present for the ex parte order?
Yes.
Okay, did you direct her to take that picture?
No, I didn't know. She went to like I didn't even know. We walked down the hall and she had her phone up and she took a picture, and I didn't even know she took it. And then when I noticed she took it, she noticed she took the photo. She didn't ask me if she could take it. I didn't ask her to take it, but I did tell her to erase that photo and do not post that anywhere. I did not agree with that at all. I was actually upset at her.
And there's been some exhibits put forth by the defendant where there's communications that occur via text between you and her after the July 16th phone call. Did you see those communications?
Yes.
And why is it that you were still in communication with her after that phone call?
Because I was slowly trying to distance myself from her after she made the threat to me. So I wanted to like try to slowly move away from her. Like I testified to, I said I did when when we were all in the group chat and she would do the audio call, I wouldn't answer. Or if I was in the audio group chat, she would come in. Not a lot of the time she would come in. She disappears for a long period of time, and we all get worried. Kate, she knows Kate Peters, the one that invited me to that pool party, and she knows that a lot of people reach out to her all the time because they're worried about the kids. Her state, she has mental illness. She has drinking problems.
So it's fair to say that you were still communicating, but not as, were you communicating as much as you had been prior to
No,
July 16th?
no,
So you were attempting to separate yourself from the
from all of them, yes.
And did you tell anyone else about the threats that she had made on July 16th?
On July,
Did you report it to the police at that time?
no.
And why not?
I was afraid of her, and I was in kind of disbelief. I was just trying to help her and the kids, and I felt bad for her because other people were talking about her. I'm a single mom, so I get it. People talk about a single mom, so I tried to help her because I felt bad. Other people were saying bad things about her, including people in this courtroom today that are supposedly supporting her or not supporting her.
And on September 23rd, when you had a phone call with her, did you report, well, let me back up. She's testified that that's about over an hour-long conversation. Is that accurate?
The hour and 11 minutes.
An hour and 11 minutes.
She called me.
She called you. Fair to say, during that hour and 11 minutes, it did not start off with any threats?
No, she was talking about her ex, Frankie, and what had occurred, and she told him to get in her minivan and all this kind of stuff, all what had transpired. I didn't go to the court hearing with her. She did ask me to go. She invited me to go. She's invited me to go out places. I chose not to go out places.
Like the birthday?
Yes.
And in this hour and 11 minutes of the phone call, at what point did you raise those concerns that you testified to earlier about her drinking, the knife incident, At what point in the phone call?
Towards the end.
And that's when she made threats? Yes.
Yes.
And did you report those to the police at that time?
No.
And why not?
I was afraid of her, and I was feeling mixed emotions. I was afraid of her. I was concerned for her kids. I was trying to get her to realize she has a problem.
And she's also testified that you called DCF on her. Is that true?
I never called DCF on her. That's not true.
And
I don't know who did. I even told the Mansfield police officer, Kelly, I didn't call.
And you've heard her testify that you've now befriended who she refers to as Aiden, and she has a restraining order against. Is that correct? And she's testified that you sided with him and you're friendly with him now? They're all upset that I changed sides with, I believe, parents, innocent, and since I started distancing myself from them and stopped being friends with them and went to the other side, they didn't like that, and they were attacking me all over Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. I never had a Twitter. I don't go on Twitter. And you say they were attacking you on Twitter. Is they the defendant?
Yes.
And just one final question. Are you here getting a harassment order because of Aiden Purity, or are you here because of what the defendant's actions have caused you?
I'm here to get a restraining order because of her threatening to come to my house, murder me and my kids. That's not something
And what, if any, influence has the security had on your request to seek a harassment order against the defendant?
What?
Has he had any influence on you?
No, absolutely not, no.
I think I have no further questions, sorry.
Okay. All right, and do you have anything else that you'd like to add, ma'am?
I just think it's pretty clear with the evidence that you can see that I was the one trying to distance myself from her. I never responded hardly ever to her messages. I didn't even consider her a friend at any point. I was cordial with her and friendly with her, but there was these are just ridiculous stories. I don't have a knife in my car. I've never had a knife in my car in my entire life. That incident is completely fictitious and made up. It's getting a little wacky at this point, and I deny everything that she has said, except for the phone call that I have admitted to.
Okay. All right, so in hearing all of the evidence noting that the order issued ex parte with just the plaintiff present before another judge, and I'm here on the extension of the harassment prevention order, I want to make it clear that there's a lot of testimony and evidence and things that have been discussed that frankly have nothing to do with the extension of this order. So the only thing that I'm looking at is whether there's a basis to issue this order with this plaintiff and this defendant. And all of the other factors that have come in have no basis in this hearing. This hearing is simply between the two of you. It has nothing to do with all of the other issues that are being discussed. It's a question for me of whether there's a basis for this harassment order to be further extended. And what I have to look at is whether the plaintiff has met the burden that there are three or more acts of harassment, whether they've been proven. And harassment must be either fighting words or true threats. So when I look at this, I look at whether there were fighting words, and fighting words are limited to words that are likely to provoke a fight, face-to-face personal insults. That's not what we're looking at in the conduct of the defendant in this case. So that I look at true threats, and I look at the three incidents. So the incidents July 16th, where what I heard was, watch your fucking self. They're not your kids. Mind your own fucking business. You don't know who you're fucking with. Mind your fucking business. I'm going to come for you, is what I was told. September 23rd. Mind your own fucking business. I'll show up at your home. I'll beat your ass in front of your children. And then December 10th was a phone call. And that was, it was 8 blocked calls, I think was what I heard. And it was, why are you fucking talking about my kids? I will kill you. I will slit your, I will, I don't know if it was slit your fucking head off. I will come to your house. I will murder you and your kids. You dumb bitch, do you understand? Do you understand me? So that's the conduct that we're talking about. So in evaluating that conduct, and I did look at the messages that you gave me. I did look at the communication before, the relationship before, but really what I have to look at when I follow the case law for this type of order is the conduct. And true threats are statements where the speaker means to communicate a serious expression of intent to commit an act of violence to one particular individual. The speaker doesn't have to actually intend to carry out the threat, but is it an explicit statement of an intention to harm a victim? That's what I have to look at. Again, is it protected speech or is it a true threat? And I have to make sure that I'm looking at, and I have to exclude constitutionally protected speech and make sure that it's a true threat that communicates a serious expression of an intent to commit an act of violence to a particular individual. And does it in fact cause fear of physical harm to the plaintiff? And when I look at the 3 incidents and how it did impact the plaintiff, I do determine that these 3 incidents do rise to the level of being true threats. And I do think that the incidents, after taking all of the evidence into account, they did in fact cause reasonable fear of physical harm to this plaintiff. And I do find that there is a basis to further extend the order. So I am going to extend the order. The order can be extended for up to 1 year. And are you asking for the order to be extended for a 1-year period, ma'am? Yeah. Okay. All right, so the order will be extended. The order will be extended exactly as it stands for a 1-year period. And Mr. Clerk, I'll do a 1 year, just to stay away from the holiday. We'll do 1 year from, like, perhaps either the date that it originally issued, or from last week.
When was it originally?
I can check that. I think it was the 10th, yeah.
December 10th, 2025.
Okay. Okay, so after hearing, and that's with both parties present with notice. Where I'll take that under advisement.
Wasn't that a beautiful ending? Now, I wonder if she will get locked up, you know? Definitely want to hear from Mary Bagwell. I want to know if she's pressed charges, if she intends to press charges against LG for that.
And do you have a copy for the defendant?
I just served her with a copy.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
All right. I want to thank everyone who's been watching, sharing, commenting, liking, and all the super chats tonight. I want to thank Catherine. I want to thank my buddy LTL Media. I hope he's feeling better. He just had a really bad root canal, and I hope he's feeling better today. He had to reschedule his show. It's going to be next Tuesday with Juna Perkins, who's running for district attorney against Michael Morrissey. Definitely check LTL Media out. Follow, subscribe, all that. Thank you so much, LTL. And I think he's going to jump on with us for a couple minutes tomorrow night. We're going to have Mark Betterow and Mazza Media live on the show tomorrow night, Thursday night, 6 p.m. Looking forward to it. I hope I see you all there. Like I said earlier, I'm going to post the entire video, audio, video, whatever we're calling this thing that I put together. We're going to post it without my commentary. So as soon as this live's over, you're going to see a YouTube premiere, and it's just going to be the audio. So if you just want to listen to it without me ranting over it, you'll get that as well. And maybe you missed the beginning. You want to go watch it back. There'll be a premiere chat thing going on, so you can comment and watch there in just a couple minutes. I'd say this is karma indeed. Thank you so much, Romy. Thank you, Glamour Suze. Thank you, PU. Thank you again, LTL Media. And thank you, Catherine. Maloney, I think I just mailed out stickers. If I didn't already mail out stickers to you, I think you were one of the overseas ones, if I'm right on that. I'm not sure. I mailed out so many packages. I mailed out the rest today. And then I got a couple more requests today, so I'm still mailing out stickers. We got some new stickers, yeah. All right, so if you haven't, please like and subscribe to the Young Jerks on Facebook, on Twitter, on X, And again, I'm going to post that video right now as soon as I get off here, a live YouTube premiere video without my commentary, just the court audio. I'll see everyone tomorrow night, Thursday night, 6 p.m. with Mark Betterow, Mazza Media, and LTL Media might jump in around the 7 p.m. hour for a few minutes if he's feeling well enough. I hope he's feeling well. I hope his tooth pain is gone. That is horrible. And I want to thank Sue A. Sponti, for being a member now for 4 months. She says, good to see any kind of justice. This is some kind of justice, isn't it? Even if it's just public shame in the HPO. Hopefully she's afraid now. I mean, what she put that mom through, disgusting. What she's put Aiden through is disgusting. All right, I'm going to end it there. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow night, Thursday night, 6 p.m. Mark Betterow on the show, attorney Mark Betterow, and Mazza Media, and I believe Turtle Boy has court on Friday, if I'm right on that. So there's a lot going on, man. We're going to continue to cover it. There's also some big national standouts going out for Karen Reed coming up this month, and the 29th. There's going to be a 24-hour standout as well. There's a lot happening on the ground, at court, on the YouTube shows. We all got to support each other. Remember what this is about. Free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy. Also pinned at the top of the chat, in our chat tonight, is Aiden's Defense Fund. If you want to do something about this, like I said, there's some things you can do. Number one, contribute to Aiden's Defense Fund. Contribute to the Karen Reed Defense Fund. And then also hound all these local Boston professional media people, the corporate media, the TV news people, and ask them, every time they post about Karen Reed, ask them why they aren't looking into Brian Tully and Lindsay Gaetani. Why aren't they covering that she's now threatened three different groups of children on audio tape, and this is their chief witness against Aiden Carney. They also used her as a witness against Karen Reed. Why isn't the media covering that? Why is it just us YouTubers? Why does Aiden have to cover this shit? Because they won't cover it? Come on. So that's what you can do. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night. And maybe I'll see you in the chat because I'm going to premiere that video right now. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much to our moderators. You rule.